Alrighty.
All right.
All right, we're here. All right, welcome everyone to Free Hands Friday number 51. And what a treat we have for you today. Today is what? Friday the 3rd. And I'm joined by Russell Keating and Rob Hayner and our host, Andy Prokopic, and our very special guest, Oceans in Space.
Yeah. What's up, guys?
So, without any further ado, Andy, I'm going to hand it off to you, and we'll get things rolling.
Well, all right.
All right.
Well, first things first, I think, Ben, I have no idea what your last name is. If you feel comfortable
Weber.
telling us.
Weber. Darth Weber. Weber. Weber.
Oh, okay. So here
Yeah.
we are with Minneapolis's own Ben Weber.
Or Weber. Just checking with you.
Weber. If you don't mind telling, why don't you tell everyone specifically who you are, Ben?
All right. I am a human stick player who plays the 10-string stick. I like electronic music. They usually call it IDM. Intelligent dance music, isn't that pretentious? And I'm really big into effects. I'm also a NS player because I started out on bass. And I make albums, and right now I have crazy anxiety, so I'm not playing live shows, but I aim to get back doing that.
Well, all right.
So, and I was born on a different planet.
Ah, yes. That goes without saying.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of people actually are. I don't know if you knew that. They were brought here. But that's another story, sorry.
Yeah. Well, sticking to the stick.
Yeah.
So how and when did you decide that music was your thing?
When I was probably like 12 or 13, I got good at like slap bass, and so like people were just like, "Dude, you can play slap bass," and then that basically inspired me to like keep going with it, and then it became my like ultimate life's goal. And I guess I was just big into like even at that time I was into like Fish and like Disco Biscuits and jam bands, so I was just all into that. But then I got into like the prog thing, like everybody, King Crimson, all that. Yeah, and then I took it seriously at some point, I guess, after the teenage years.
So, bringing in a timeline, did you have like some lessons or formal training at any point, or did you go to school for music?
I
Or did you-
went to a bunch of stick seminars, which were immensely valuable. And I had some bass teachers. I would say I'm like pseudo self-taught, I mean, because I'll take lessons. I guess I don't really say self-taught, but yeah. I'm down with like music theory and like learning the rules and how to break them too.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So, when you were doing all this, was there like a certain person that maybe inspired you to keep doing it, or maybe like gave you your first instrument or something like that?
Yeah, at first, I'd like to make up some like story, but yeah, it was Greg Howard. I just heard that and I was like, what the hell is going on? Like the bass tone, with the stick up, and I was just like, this isn't even human. Like I just didn't even understand, literally. Like I heard a track and I was like, what is that? And it was just badass. It was one of his more groove-based ones, so as a bass player, that just caught me. So yeah, it was definitely him that started me.
So is that your first experience? No, like experiencing the stick? Was that your first?
No, it was actually the classic King Crimson. I'd like to say something else, but Trey Gunn in 2011. What can you say, right?
So around what year was this, would you say?
This was around 2001. The
Okay.
epic year.
Where were you at that time? Are you natively from Minneapolis, St. Paul?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So you were still living in Minneapolis at the time, right? Or
Right.
okay. Well, jumping a little more forward, I suppose. You worked for Stick Enterprise for a time. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Hold on, I'm trying to make this mic more comfortable so I'm not like leaning forward all weird, but I don't have a mic stand, so I'm like,
Out of
All right.
curiosity, could I just butt in really quickly?
Sure.
Yeah.
Tell us about that mic stand.
Yeah, it's actually a hair dryer holder. Who's ever heard of a hair dryer holder? Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, and then maybe you'll have some tips for us on moving after we've talked about the NS for a little while, because we
Yeah.
just moved.
Yeah, no, I'd just like to mention that my cat, which is like very tiny and thin and weighs nothing, seriously scratched me, hurt me. It broke the cardboard box. It had the force of a lion. It was insane. No, it really was like unbelievable. Anyway, though, let's get to Stick.
Okay, sorry, Andy.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
This isn't my normal rig setup or house, so everything's all weird. I like only have a couple pedals set up and stuff, so yeah. And I don't know why I'm in black and white either, magically. Or am I not in black and white?
It's strange. I didn't notice that until you mentioned it, but now that you're saying something about it, I didn't know it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do anything, I swear. Or, I don't know, yeah.
So, how did you worked for Stick Enterprises, right?
Yeah, I did for probably like a year and a half, I'm going to say, roughly. I hope I'm correct on that.
How did that come to be?
That was actually quite a mystical one, actually, because what I did initially was I moved to Berkeley, California, and was doing this was like around the time when it was like super hard to get jobs and everything was crazy. So I was like just trying to like exist in Berkeley, California, whatever. And then I think it was my mom ordered me some strings, and then like they mentioned something about their like clerk leaving. And then something kind of like that. And then I was like freaking out, and I was like, what? This is like the most mystical meant to be thing. And then I called, and it was like about a 6-hour drive from Berkeley to LA. And I drove down there for like the interview and test and everything. And I told him, I was like, I don't even need to get paid, man. Like, seriously, like, let's just do this. Like, I'll do anything. I'm a total fanboy, like. So anyway, yeah, I think it was pretty much like my mom made a call for strings and found that out and told me, and then I called him, and then actually Emmett knew me from the Michigan seminar, so we had like a jumping off point, so we kind of knew each other, and and actually I'd like to point out that the job was amazing, and I learned a ton, and everybody there is awesome, and the only reason I left was because I was dying in LA. Like LA just killed me.
So what was
nothing?
What did you do at Stick Enterprises?
I guess you'd say customer service, shipping. I probably talked to a lot of you guys. That's what's funny is I talked to so many people there when I was there, and
I remember.
It was actually. Yeah. Do you remember? Okay, and it was like kind of awkward because like I'd want to talk Stick and like chat, and then like I'd get like the little inclination like maybe I should probably be working a little, or you know what I mean, just because you don't want to be talking about like right hand major chord shapes, when you're trying to be working.
So, now, did you ever get a call from like Tom G or like Bob Culbertson and be like, dude?
Oh yeah, I had multiple freakouts, and the best freakouts were when they would come in person. They'd be like, Bob's coming in today, or like Kevin Keith's coming, and it'd just be like amazing. It was just so cool. Like,
dude, tell us a little bit more about like that, because I'm like total fanboy like that, and I freak out. Like,
yeah.
Give us some details. Come on, dish on it.
Yeah, no. Bob Culbertson is like so nice and unbelievable and like concise in his lesson articulations. Yeah, just an amazing guy. Well, let's see here. Kevin Keith. He's the most badass guy. He gets the award for just being badass. Like you see him and he's got a stick and you're like, dude, you're just fucking cool. And he's got those grooves too going and you're just like, yeah. But man, let me think here. Don Schiff bringing over donuts. And actually, still the highlight though would be like just hearing Emmett like play randomly in practice because we were like right next to each other. So I would just get to hear Emmett play all the time, and that was amazing. Yeah, no, and Tom. Oh yeah, Tom. Tom's super nice too. Very relaxed and soft-spoken and thought out. But I mean that in a good way, Yeah.
So
and he's a tone freak. He's a crazy, weird tone freak. I don't even know what he's doing with all his EQs and compressors and shit.
So I know Emmett's big into astrology, and there was some mention of it in the in your freehands form very briefly. Do you want to talk about that for a little bit?
Hoping for this.
Yes, I would like to do that because actually it got misinterpreted. I thought that maybe Emmett wouldn't want me to talk about it, and actually, so I don't even have the astrology chart with me. But all I will say is that like he does a really in-depth and unique way of doing astrology that was legit to me, and like I would basically say that he was dead on, like foretold my past and maybe the future, but yeah. So yeah, no, I thought that maybe Emmett was going to stray away from that, but he was like, no, it's okay. So I don't have the chart with me though, so otherwise I would explain some mystical things about it, but it's intense.
So, do you do astrology, or is this just your Emmett's particular reading of you?
No, Emmett is my astrologer.
Okay. In a way, he's all our astrologers, really.
I know, right? It was funny. I was talking with him, and he's like, like how much impact he's had on my life too. Just because it's like, how many hours a day do you like play stick and all this and that, and it's all just because he invented this, and in like what, the 70s or 69 or whatever. I'm like, dude, insane. Like he's influenced so many people.
So I kind of missed something, and I want to get back to it because chronologically it was before this, but when did you get your first stick, and what was that like?
The same mystical year of 2001.
Okay.
And it was actually unbelievable because when I called to order it, I didn't know there was a waiting period, So, like a couple weeks go by, and then, or whatever, this was a while ago, and then I was just like, oh, just wondering when it's going to be here, and then I found out it was going to be like 5 months or something, And I kind of like freaked out, and I was probably like, "What?" Like, But then in the meantime, it was fine. And then it came. I was at my friend's house, and then like we both came over there, and it was. I would say right from the start, it like fit perfectly, like, because the tuning was goofy to me, as most bass players it would be, But I didn't treat it like a bass at first. I was like, dude, the action is so low, like. Never felt the pleasure of playing on a low action instrument, because when you go to music stores and try a bass or something, I literally couldn't play any of my licks on there. Like my chops would be gone. You guys feel me though?
I get you. I know exactly what you mean.
All right.
I have a good document of my first experience touching a stick. So
yeah, no. So it was amazing from the start, and like I would just do simple like just alternating right and left hand and being like, that's amazing. And it's like so redundant and ridiculous now to us, but I mean like just going So yeah, no, it was insane. It was great. I would say the learning curve was interesting because as long as I didn't try to like treat it like I did my bass, and like I just took harmony a whole new way, then it was great.
So, also, you might have mentioned this, but I think I missed it. What year did you actually move out to Berkeley, and then what year did you start working at Stick Enterprises?
That one's a little fuzzy. I'm going to say around 2009, but I could be off.
Okay. So not that long ago, but kind of a...
Yeah, it seems like yesterday, and like I still talk to them all, and like the workers, was it Oh, yeah, I wish I knew. Cambria would know if Cambria were here.
I'm probably going to have to call her because I don't know my stuff about one. So, yeah.
She can tell you.
We'll have to.
She's awesome, though. Cambria's awesome. And so is Yuta, and so is Yumi, and everybody.
All right. So, you said LA kind of killed you.
Killed me.
Yeah, so how? Why?
Oh, well, it was just, like, so crazy social anxiety, never like going out, not meeting chicks, not playing shows, going home and like, I guess on the positive side, I'd go home and like practice and, all that. But it was just like really lonely, and like I would go walking and I was a lone stranger who was lost.
Oh no.
I don't know. Just people are not as nice. I don't know. Because basically coming from Berkeley and San Francisco where people are chill and they're nice, and then you go to LA and it's the exact opposite. Like I tried to stick it out, like because the job was amazing and I loved it, but it was like basically I got too depressed after it, and I was like I had to move home at least, and I didn't know I would stay here, but I was like I just got to reset,
Yeah, I can empathize with that pretty strongly.
Actually, but I did play at a couple stick nights though, but it's like they were shows that I didn't organize, so it was like if Emmett or somebody else organized it, I did play a couple shows, so that was amazing.
So what was your live show like? Did you play solo? Were you in a band? What were you doing?
I pretty much always do solo, and it consists. It's funny because Emmett, Emmett, like I don't know what is if he likes my looping or not. I don't know. Who knows? But like it's really heavily bent on looping, where I would have like MIDI clock sent to my delay and like blibbity blop beat repeats. But it was basically set up around like this ridiculous space cart with like tons of gear and like drum beats set, and then so yeah, it was pretty much full on electronic with looping. I mean, I think I did one of the shows with no beats just to kind of prove that I could do it, where I didn't use any electronic beats. But yeah, it was so nerve-wracking, man, playing next to those guys. Oh. Dude, like just like sweating my face off, was just like dying. But it was the best ever, though,
So, in that time, during that time, which I can kind of looking at your YouTube videos, I think some of the more viewed ones were around the same time, and I remember seeing these videos when I was like 15 or 16, looking at stick videos, and I was seeing them, and I was like, whoa, this is different.
It's so funny.
Oh, they're great. I love them.
Did it just wig you out? You're just like, who is this guy? Like, yeah, that's the funniest thing. It's like those still have the most hits, and it's like it was like a publicity stunt. Like, if it was, that would have been amazing. It wasn't. I turned into a corpse. What can I say?
They're great. They're absolutely great.
But that's weird. That's pretty weird harmony, though. That's kind of like at that point, I was really wigging out on the whole like augmented diminished thing, and I still am. And as I posted, there is some top secret things about augmenting the diminished or diminishing the augmented.
Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on that? Because I know you were talking about it in your
I'll think about that. No, it's basically just the key thing is just shapes. You know how there's like the like or like basically everything that sounds like Fripp or something to me I think is like augmented or diminished or something. I could be wrong. But it's just seeing that like geometrical patterns. Geometrical? Is that a word? I don't know. I would basically like in my right hand I would go like root fifth octave, and then the left hand root fifth octave. Or then interweaving. And it sounds kind of dissonant. I just tuned up, so it should sound right, though. I hope.
It sounds right to me. I don't see a lot of people. You don't see a lot of people doing really kind of atonal stuff on the stick very regularly. There's a few others, but they're not.
I kind of noticed that too, and it's not a bad thing or anything. But I guess I
personally love it. It's great stuff.
And like the other thing was, I'm down with like doing like a reggae jam too. It's not like I'm all about like only, if you've seen some of my videos, it could be like an electronic disco party, So I'm not like, some people are kind of like weird elitist with like abstract things, and I aim not to be.
Well, good on you. I really appreciate that.
So anyway, it is funny though about the YouTube thing, because it's like people just clicked on it because they saw some weirdo with corpse paint on, but the playing was there. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, it's solid. If you didn't have all the makeup on, everybody would just be like, it's another stick video. Is really good stick players, but then really takes it over the cliff.
Well, it's like I think they would hear the dissonance if I didn't have the corpse paint, they'd just be like, "Oh, I hate this. This is terrible racket," But then it's like once you see the demonic possession, it makes sense.
I had a question about that actually.
Okay.
Why did you stop?
Go ahead.
Like, where did the videos go? Because like the videos were so.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, we want more of them.
Dude, you have been to my page, bro. I got so many videos. Or do you mean like stick videos? Like, cause I've got like so many videos up there, like disco, like the last one, Disco Christmas. I've got tons of them up there. Or do you mean more like me playing stick videos?
No, not necessarily that. I mean, well, yeah, me playing stick.
Okay. So it's been a while since I've done one of those.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I liked most. What I liked most was seeing you actually and the one with the corpse stuff that you had going on was just insane. I thought, well, who's this Joker? And then all of a sudden, like this just frickin' flurry. It was like an orchestra, and there was no stopping it. It just went on and on and on. And
almost overwhelming, right? Yeah.
Wow, like he can play, and he looks good in black and white.
Thank you. Yeah.
He wears it well. He wears the whole corpse thing. Like you were like tapping dead, like Walking Dead, like even before it was cool. So
yeah,
that's what that's what I was kind of hoping to see, and I was like, cool. I'll wait for another one, And then I see some of the you have some crazy formats that you're uploading, so I like kind of live on stick. So
you mean like .mov files or something, or what?
Yeah, and APCs, whatever it is. There's like different formats. You and Tatsu freak out on for pages and pages and pages of stuff on the stickers. But what I want to see is a video with you playing the stick because it's really fun to watch.
All right. Well, in my new pad, I was aiming to focus on doing some of that, so I will grant your wish, my friend. Maybe a little today, even.
Okay.
Yeah, so on that harmonic spellcasting video type stuff. That's basically, it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's like you know how free jazz is you can choose any note. I don't want to say it's like that. I'd say it's sticking kind of to a shape-based concept. So for my right hand, I would do let's just do the diminished, and then just do hold on. Basically, I would just try to find notes. That was kind of weird, but then I would find out a lot of times they would work, and I was like, wow, it's kind of like trusting your intuition and just whatever, and not being like, oh, that sounds terrible, like I just said. And I'd just like to mention that I'm rusty on the 10 string here, so I'm sorry.
No, if you hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have known.
All right, okay. But no, I'll give you some better examples later, so yeah.
Okay, cool. I had a question. What was it? It was, I know lately you've been a big NS player, and you've been doing some guitar interval, not straightforward NS, and putting together it was a
ebook.
Scales.
Yeah, basically it's I call them just little ebooks. I did one for the 10 string too that actually got somehow deleted, even though I went on the Wayback Machine. I have this. It was called Hyperspace Concepts for the 10 string stick, and I have it printed out, and it was kind of cool. I thought anyway, because it was a wiki where other people could write on it, but now it's gone, as if the disco police took it away. I think, unless you can find it. But anyway, so no, I'm working just for when I say I'm working on it, it's kind of I try to teach myself. The NS book with guitar interval, I wanted to make sure that I could find chord shapes in my right hand that were comfortable, and that since it's more horizontal, it's a whole different trip too. You know what I mean? Because a guitar player, and the frets are way farther apart from the guitar, So if you just get a guitar chord book, the shit is just mind-bendingly hard for me anyway. And I think on the top 5 strings, I think there's I don't know the number, but there's a limited amount of shapes that are comfortable where you can move them around and not do finger twisters. And so I think it needs, I don't know, I mean for me as a player, I just want to, I'm a really graph and whatever. If I see a graph of the thing on a fretboard, it makes sense. So
right. You've made a couple videos that circle around that too. I've noticed.
Yeah, I've been doing some testing on that with stuff. But what's weird is the guitar interval. You wouldn't think a bass player would want that to throw off the geometry. And I even am kind of into the whole sacred geometry thing, all this, and the way the stick is tuned, the 10 string in fifths and fourths, best ever. But the guitar interval thing is weird because it wasn't because of Gary either. Gary didn't convince me to do anything. It was because you could just kind of there's the bar chord thing, and then the right hand chords, since it's more horizontal, I find I could have more comfortable shapes if I moved them up and down the strings, which I can illustrate once I switch to the NS.
Well, can you elaborate a little bit on that? I'm not sure I follow with what do you mean with more comfortable right hand shapes with the guitar interval.
Shit, I gotta unplug this to show you. You want me to do that?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Well, here, actually, okay.
Well, anyway.
Well, actually, let's hold that so I don't have to switch back and forth and talk a bunch of
okay,
mayhem.
good
but I'll
idea.
explain that one later. Remind me.
All right. Okay. I'll keep in mind.
And I'd like to point out too that like it's really easy to go back to straight fourths, and I used to do that, and I think technically the intonation would be off, but it was passable,
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
That's that.
All right. So, when you moved back to Minneapolis, did you start playing out? You mentioned that you haven't done that recently. Is that like as of moving now, or is that when you moved back to Minneapolis, or what?
I have not been playing as much as I would like. I have had depression and anxiety problems which prevent that.
Yes.
Now I will be better and aim to do that. All right. But I played in bands though. So
okay.
Basically, I trip out. Oh, let me turn off Peter Gabriel here. I trip out on playing solo. Even it's the weirdest thing. Like, it's not like stage fright because I don't care even. I care, but I don't. But it's just like my fingers don't even right now they're like sweating and like I'm cold and hot. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, and it's like a physical thing. And I'm starting yoga. I've tried tons of stuff, but now I'm just realizing. You just have to come to grips with weird shit and then just figure it out, Like if I was gonna do a solo show, like if they were to even allow me to play one around here, like I'd just do it and then be like sweating and like I'm so nervous, help me, but just do it, Because I don't think it gets better over time. I don't know. It doesn't for me. For solo. That's just me.
So, you want to talk about some of these bands you've been part of? Like, what kind of music is it, and like what your role as a stick player or NS stick player has been?
Yeah. Well, I play jazz still actually with a guitar player, and that's just a duo. It's just jazz where I do like walking bass lines and try to be Steve Adelson, but totally not able to do it. Let's see here. And then I was in a jam band too for a while, and but it was more like a fusion jam band. It was badass. Because I'm all about improv, and it's like I like to have maybe a structured part, but then the improv's where it's at, the jam band ethic, but not the Grateful Dead specifically. It's really weird because when I say like that, the jam bands, people think Grateful Dead or something, and I like them now, but that's not what I mean at all. Like it's like that's a little too like lovey-dovey, happy. But then you go get like Dark Star Space, and it's insanely scary. So I don't know. Hey, what are all those things people are posting? Are they saying things to me? Should I be looking at that? They're like posting texts.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at one of them. Oh, okay. I was just ignoring everyone. Awesome.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
I'm keeping an eye on it.
Exactly. Well, it's hard to see, man. I can't. Okay, yeah.
Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. So.
Okay.
Gene's chewing me out here. We mentioned that NS book. Is there anything you're doing specifically with the 10-string as of late, or has it mostly been NS stuff?
It's mostly been NS, but now that I've moved, it's going back to the 10. Does the audio cut out when I play and talk, or does it come through okay?
It comes through just fine. In fact, I think it might be the best stream of stick audio we've had. Like the entire freehand.
Great. We had some technical stuff. Yeah, we were working on DirectIn, and it was like me and Gary too, Jabilian. Like we've done so many sessions where there's the weirdest problems. Like the microphone will sound good, and then the stick will cut out when you talk. But this one's not. It's not cutting out. It's not cutting out. Great. Sorry. Sucks having your headphones, but fuck it.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Gene.
So, Gary, and Gary's an NS player, and
yep.
And so like, tell us about your relationship with Gary.
Oh, dude, we're such homies. It was like I would go when I was down there. You know how he's got the drummer sitar too. I would just totally just like come over there and like geek out and watch him and learn, and then just like when he would go out for like a beer or a cigarette, I would just tell the drummer to stay there and let me play. Because actually, when I was down there, I didn't have the NS right away at all, so it was like, Gary, I hope you like fall over and then like break your arm so I can play your stick. No, you know what I mean. But no, I'd say we're super homies, and like I've learned a ton of stuff from him, and yeah, it's weird because basically like a human like that should deserve like $1 million and then like a free ride for life, just for like general human coolness, and then the music too.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree. Gary's good.
But just like currency of the universe, or not even currency of the universe, just like karma points if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
You can spend them though.
Gary's a cool guy, and I wish there were, and I think like Stick Enterprises kind of lucked out with both you guys because they had people that were passionate about music and creativity, and like they need people like that, right, to kind of.
Yeah, no, and what's funny about Gary too is he like says he doesn't know music theory and stuff, and like he totally it's just like everybody. It's like they figured it out by ear, and like they know they're just being humble, He totally knows like all this shit, and it's like he's amazing.
Yeah. He's a cool cat.
So, and actually, we've had a couple jams via Google Hangout, and when we set it to the lowest bandwidth, it was almost jammable. Like I'd lay down a beat. Have you guys tried any of that, jamming over this?
No, I haven't tried it yet.
Because like if I tried laying down like a simple 4/4 beat, and then like one of you guys had your stick plugged in, so you could see if it would work. You know what I'm saying? Just think about that. You can have all of us playing at once.
You and Gary have done more testing with Google Plus than I.
We've done it. Yeah, no, and it works.
I flip it on and hit record, and then I stop recording. Like.
But I mean, I think the jamming, virtual jamming, is like almost here or is here. Like we could lower the video quality and then have the audio quality be good.
I see. Okay.
I think Rob knows a thing or two about that.
Ooh, does he? Because that would be fun.
Mute.
All right, so I know a lot about computer stuff and network latency and prioritization of packets and stuff like that. I do not
Nice.
specifically know that application, but if I was in the situation, I could like read what's going on.
Yeah, sometime me, you, and Gary. It's like, because it's still got its quirks. Because I don't know if anybody noticed, but like to me, sometimes his NS would almost sound fretless because it would kind of like wah with the volume swell, and I was always like, "What is that?" And it's totally not anything to do with how it's actually sounding. Like I want everything to sound like it sounds in my headphones to you guys, and vice versa. You know what I mean? I don't know if it does, but I hope so.
It's challenging. It's very, very challenging. And so.
It is.
Oh, cool. Greg's here. Wow, we have a full house, man.
Full house.
Both Steves. Greg's here. Sweet. Okay.
Nice, nice. Let me just do. You talking about Greg Howard?
No, Greg Wakeman.
Oh, here's this one. Thank you, Greg Wakeman. Thank you, Greg Wakeman. Okay. Anyway, so go ahead.
Actually, Andy, if I could, do you want to talk a little bit about looping? Can we? Andy, is it okay to kind of broach that subject now?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's do it. So this is good. We had Glenn Portman on a couple weeks ago. He's a big looping guy, so this is a good seg. So you want to talk about looping and how you approach it and what you do?
I want to murder these headphones right now, but this cable is like not long enough. Fucking hold on. All right, so yeah, looping's my trip. Right now, I only have the TC Electronics flashback for my looper, which is like the most basic looping thing where you could lay down the loop, and then everything has to be at the same time. So if it's like a 1-bar loop, every loop's going to be 1 bar, overdub after that. But once you start getting into like the Echoplex, which was my first one, I think Tom uses the Effectrix repeater. Any of those, you could set like a beat like or whatever, and then lay down like a long chord progression over that. So you do like a boring root 5th bass line, but then lay down like a long badass chord thing, and then your last one could be like solo or synth. And that's where I find looping to get like actually affects your playing style a lot. And I don't know, it's weird because some people think of it as like cheating in a sense, but I just have that. It's not really in my brain to see how it's cheating because it's just I will use as much technology as I can.
Right, and
I don't know.
I see what you mean by that, and I've thought a lot about that myself because you don't want to lay down a bass line and then have your arm kind of flopping around doing nothing, and then
Yeah. And if like the last loop I did, it would have been the thing for whatever. I mean, it would get old really quick, and that's sometimes
it's hard. You gotta,
ambient loopers too. It's like I like it, but it just gets old quick to me. Like, or if the looper just doesn't like, let's say, solo over it or add something. Also, post processing after your looper is like the best thing ever, and I was gonna try to show you guys that today. But if you have your loops going out to, let's say, Ableton Live, then you have your like beat repeats and your delays or whatever on, and it's the best thing ever because your loop can't get old. You'll have your effect constantly morphing in time with the loop via MIDI sync.
Andy, I think I feel another session coming on.
oh, okay.
I don't think you're going to be able to contain just all the
sorry.
majesty that is Oceans in Space and all the opportunities with Ableton Live and with looping, and MIDI. So those are
Actually, my other looper's not even set up, and we weren't getting any sound from my Ableton. That maybe it's you tech guys can figure that out. Like I'd play stuff in Ableton, and I would hear it in my headphones, but he wouldn't.
Right.
Tragic.
So that's what we have to do is we have to get you some speakers so that we can hear actually the room ambience, and that's just one of these things, right?
No, I've got speakers. I would enjoy not wearing headphones. I, for some reason, thought there would be like a feedback loop, or am I just tripping?
It
There-
can happen.
It's hard to say. It can happen. Yeah, it's happened before, but
Because I would be
We'll
listening
stick-
to you. Okay, never mind. Yeah.
we'll just stick with this because this is working good. We're going
We're having
good.
fun here.
Yeah, we're having a great time.
You don't mind if I vape, do you? I'm off the ciggies.
Go for it.
dude. I'd be vaping something else if I could.
Mm-hmm.
Take us through you mentioned the looper that you're using right now. Is that part of the big rig that you have? Is that
It is just because like it's part of the out of control rig or the minimalist rig. Where like for me, like I just have a lot of fun just like doing a beat like and then just playing over it. So like even just if I'm slapping the strings like that to get a beat going, I end up playing longer, practicing more, and having more fun. Otherwise sometimes I don't get like inspired or like creativity per se. I have to just force myself and just do it. I'm never like, here's a song that I want to sing to you. You know, I just don't get that. I don't know.
It's not
I did right there.
It is kind of a mix between improv and kind of hard put your nose to the book composition kind of deal.
Yeah, in an ideal world, if I knew more about music theory, yeah.
Okay, so the improv is what keeps you inspired, but you gotta
Yeah,
kind of
well, like I like to learn. Yeah, just learning like that major one. And then you realize like, oh, let's move with the right hand. Oh, that still sounds good. There's might be good, but maybe not. And the last one was good. So like I just found that, and that was the same shape. So I'm big into moving. That's a little weird. A little better, you know. Then just like once you kind of get familiar with that, if I would have been looking at the fretboard, I would have done it better. But yeah, because I think it's insane how many shapes. Like it might be a little bit of a trap where if like you only use some shapes, but I find that like how many shapes can you do unless you're like Bob Culbertson, where you're using your thumb and your
I'm playing all of Weather Report and stuff.
Yeah,
I know what you
hearing
mean.
Birdland, I was just dying hearing
Birdland,
Birdland. Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm all about Jocko too. Jocko's the man.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right.
Jeez. Okay. So
Anybody disagree here? Because we're gonna have to take you off if you disagree. All right. Just kidding.
So what are you doing? You do a lot of recording, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, way too much. And actually, I found it's almost like a hypnotism thing, because it gets to the point where I'm only recording, and it's like as if I was joking, like on intervention, like how music ruins your life because you're so addicted to it. Like right now, I should probably be looking for another job, you know, or I should probably be trying to find a girlfriend or something. But no, it's like I'm going to be playing stick, setting up my stuff, and like looping, and you know. So it's I forgot what the question was, but it's like yeah, it kind of like messes you up because it's so inspiring. You know, it's like I just want to play, man. You know, but I also don't want to live on the streets and be a rat bag.
Yeah. So did you have like an album that you put together recently, or do you have one in the near future in the works?
Yeah, if we're gonna do the plug, the Bandcamp site has an overwhelming amount of albums.
Well, keep plugging. Let's get this
Yeah,
going.
no, and then there's the CD. I think if you're a 10-string player, it's called Zofrindia. That one is like all stick, and probably was the most like intense all stick album I've ever done. Because like if you click some of the other ones, you might get disco party electronic stuff and be like, I want to stick, and I know that same exact feeling, So there's that one, and there, if you click around, there's stick and NS on everything, though, pretty much.
Well,
And synthesizer.
The all stick one was Zofrindia, was that right?
Yeah, Zofrindia was that, and then I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, the one that features the NS. I think it's called Modes of Galactic Descent. Forget the name. But each track was just on a different mode of this major scale,
Is that site we can find those on? Just Bandcamp/Oceans in Space?
Yeah, I think it is. And actually,
Okay.
on that note, I don't know if this is silly, but see, I was trying to be overly prepared, and now that my stuff was kind of frickle-frackled, I made a 7-minute track. Do you guys see? I just don't know how I should say this. Like, you guys know about the modes, right? Like, you're probably being like, yeah, dude, shut up. I know about the modes.
Yeah, dude, shut up.
Okay.
What are
So
modes?
check this out. No, I'm serious though, because like for me, I'm still like discovering things within the modes, like you know what I mean and stuff. And so what I like to do is I made like a track where I would have like a major 13 chord, and then see how my major playing would sound over that, or just a static chord. I forgot what my point was. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
You were preparing. You were getting ready for the recording, and you were putting
Oh.
together, and you had like a 7-minute track.
Oh yeah. So what I do is as like a play along warm up is I just do each mode for a minute each, and then like try. So if it's the first mode, Ionian, obviously we know that's gonna work. Ionian's fine. And then but maybe try like focusing on Locrian or something. And then you know what I mean. That one's gonna be hard, obviously, because you're root note. But I do have that track, and I find it fun to do. Like I don't know if that's like an encouragement to you guys if you enjoy doing that. But like it's kind of like Band in a Box or any of those programs, but like you do it yourself, so it's a little bit less cheesy. But I do Band in the Box stuff. It's fun as hell, man. Just throw in like a weather report thing and see if you can hang with it, and then realize that you can't.
So, Andy, could we talk about, or could we consider talking about, or something? So something that I find that unique about your playing and kind of what you have to offer the community so much is your experience recording, because you spend all this time recording. And so, like, what are some of the kind of the lessons that you've learned along the way when you're recording? You're like, oh, I can't do that with the stick, or I can't do that with the NS, or when I'm working in like, so I kind of I'm hoping, like, there's 3 things I'm hoping for. For one is just straight up recording. Like, what do you use? What's your rig to get an analog sound converted to digital?
Let's talk about okay, one at a time.
And then effects. I want to talk about effects. What you use, how you use them. You were talking about like, using post
processing is the best thing in the world. If you guys don't know about it, you will soon. It's amazing.
Okay. And then so things like compression and preamps and that whole blah blah blah. And then I want to talk.
Okay, yeah.
So those are the 3 things I want to talk about. Actually, capturing the sound, affecting the sound, and then software specifically that you use, like Ableton. Go.
All right, yeah. So I definitely am an Ableton user, addict, in fact, because that's what I was saying. How you get hypnotized into it. So the one thing is I could sit here and try to make like the perfect loop and spend way too long making this perfect loop, and so that's where you lose time, and then you're not even really playing. You're kind of just being like a technician, and I'm so guilty of that that I try not to. But you don't have to fall into that trap. If you use Ableton and have, like, let's say an external foot controller, you don't even have to look at the screen, or anything like that, or if you've got a keyboard, you can turn the knobs from your effects on there. But basically, yeah, Ableton Live is the best thing ever. And then I use a Akai EIE 4-input USB audio interface, which seems to be fair enough.
Which version of Ableton do you use?
The old terrible one, supposedly, because it doesn't crash like the new great ones.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
that
There's different levels. There's like a
I know.
There's like a $99 one and a $400 one. And there's like a full-blown like $600 or $700 one.
Yeah, actually, I'm completely opposed to the prices, but it's like worth it totally, you know. But like, yeah, I use the free, like, because basically I had the full version and I was living in heaven, and then I like either updated my software, did something with my computer, lost it, and now I'm on Live Lite, so I can, which is like, it's still amazing, but I'm limited to 8 tracks, which is fair enough. But then there's all these other little quirks too, and I'm kind of pissy because I'm like, Akai, you guys, or whoever makes it, Ableton, just help me out, bro. But yeah, no, even the free version's amazing. Seriously, that's what I'm using right now is the free version.
Oh, okay. So that's inspired.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And then also just a key note though is turn off the monitoring, because otherwise you're gonna get that Peter Gabriel effect that I just had earlier,
nice.
but in a more terrible way.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm not sorry. I don't know. I'm not just joking around here. I'm not dissing Peter Gabriel. You know what's weird though is Phil Collins played in Brand X. Phil
I didn't
Collins,
know that.
dude, Brand X. It's like the best '70s fusion of all time.
Huh.
Seriously, listen to the drummer. You won't even believe me. It's Phil Collins. Unless you like him. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
So for like as a stickist that wants to learn Ableton, like what are your recommendations? I mean, like we want to get started. I've got something I convert, audio to digital. Like where do I start? Like where do I go? Like
I would start with just using it as like a basic recording unit. Like think of it like a 4-track or like GarageBand. Think of it like that. And then the second thing I would do is use the looping feature, which is very easy. It's all just like point and click or whatever. What's weird though is the looping thing. Here's what's different: is there's like auto quantize, and there's like 1-bar count-ins, 1-bar count-outs for your looping, or you can have none of that. So there's a lot of really specific things where like at first there was a 1-bar count-in, and I was like, why is every loop off? What, you know what I mean? Like, what is going on? And then you figure it out. So like, I'd say with Ableton, you got to find like somebody to help you out. Otherwise, you're gonna just start getting pissy. I mean, I don't know. Like, there's so many weird things that like right now, if I had the monitor on, I'd be like hearing. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but so yeah. So multi-tracking first, looping second, effects third.
that helps. Just that.
I mean, I don't know.
There's a great way to start because it's like you can get a digital interface, right? But then once you do get it into the box, right? It's like now I want to do something cool. I want to do something creative with it. And some of the stuff that I've heard up on your page, you'll send out links. And now what is it? There's some sort of software, some sort of like community forum that you post to.
I'm a member of a couple different ones. Some top secret, some not. Which one are you talking about? Like, no, I don't
Everyone
know.
has a straight face. He throws out like top secret, and like nobody like that doesn't. Okay, that's funny. That makes me laugh. So I don't know. It had kind of a green-blue look to it, and it had like links on it and stuff like that. So it was like.
Was it the archive?
I guess it's the archive.
Well, like, was it like an overwhelming amount of my material? Like so much.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the archive. There's probably like 100 albums with like, yeah, it's out of control. And it's meant as an archive for me too. And sometimes people think that I'm like actually releasing that all to the public, and I'm like, no, I'm really not. But there's good stuff on there too. But yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, what's amazing though is the archive. Yeah, just upload all your stuff to it, and then if the world ends, blah blah blah, it's all on the archive.
So the archive is that a site that I can go to or anyone can go to?
You can do it, and the government won't monitor you.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They've actually, I think they've seen, they took down my one where I did a remix of E.T., or who was it, like Christina Aguilera or Britney Spears, somebody. I did this badass remix with like sick beats, and it was way better than the original. And then they erased that page, so there is some kind of a policeman on the archive. But I thought doing remixes was legal. Do I have to pay Christina Aguilera? Come on now. Don't tell me I have to pay her to do that.
I think it's a gray area, unfortunately.
I mean, because I mangled it. It's like she probably would hate it, so I'm not gonna pay her to hate it, right?
So, do you want to give us a quick rundown of your stick, and then maybe play something for us, and then seg to the NS?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm in baritone melody tuning.
Okay.
I enjoy that.
Good choice.
I'm always use light gauge. It's fun to try different ones. I'm actually thinking about the melody side mediums, but that, and then I've got the stick up, which still my favorite pickup, and I have the MIDI pickup too, as you probably noted earlier.
Is that on the melody side?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
And with I think still there's like the uncharted thing with vocoders and MIDI. Like I was doing some kind of silly stuff or whatever, but you can actually do MIDI and vocoder where there's not latency, because like whatever note you would play would be like how fast you go into the microphone. Oh, sorry, that's too loud. But it's really insane. Like so like it's almost like synthesis with no latency. Hold on. So, and fuck. Hold on. Sorry. Munchkin, go away. Here we go.
It was working.
So,
we heard the MIDI.
Yeah, and so each note was selected by my hand, and it was like there was no latency, and it was a terrible patch that I picked or whatever, but it's, you can do anything with it. So I haven't really heard people do the vocoding thing with the with MIDI, like, because if you set like in arpeggio, let me try one more thing. Hold on. I got my shit all messed up here, but I was trying to illustrate something, but it didn't work out.
It still sounds really great, though. We haven't had anyone doing MIDI on Freehands Friday, so.
No.
So
well, and I wish, yeah.
We lost vocals.
Did we lose all sound?
We lost vocals.
Oh.
Yeah, well, we'll try to keep it going. Yeah. I think he knows, maybe.
The mothership is landing.
So I needed to delay now. Okay. Yeah, the vocoder patches has like, an original signal and the vocoder, and then that zonked me there. Okay. So hi guys.
Hi Ben. You want to move on to talking about NS some?
Yeah, let me just end it with a little loop.
Sounds great. Go ahead.
All right. This one's called Circus Time. This one's called Circus Time, but I don't have the right patch, but it illustrates the point. You can hear each note if I play it right. All right, thank you very much. No, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I was trying. You heard there wasn't latency on the synth, but I was doing terrible vocals, so yeah. Basically, you just need like a fan blowing into your microphone, going, and then you can play the notes, and it's perfect. Yeah. So there you go. That's why. All right, you want me to switch to NS real quick?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
All right. Hold on, mates. Oh, and actually, I do use this thing, when I'm sitting in a chair. Because just for you guys, I'm sitting in a chair. But if you didn't know, I normally play sitting on the floor. And I normally play with no lights on. So, just to be nice to you guys, I'm sitting in a chair. I find it like ergonomically comfortable to sit cross-legged with the 10-string. It's like something you might have to like raise it or lower it, but it's unbelievably comfortable. I think to most people from India.
I think with my 36-inch scale stick, it comes
would
up
it be too high?
Yeah, It's a little high.
All right, hold on one second, mates.
All right.
I do still have local information. Out of curiosity, let's ask a question. Who here has MIDI? Does anyone use MIDI? Russell does.
Russell and Greg.
Okay, and Rick.
I started to wish I had MIDI.
Whoa. All right. I love headphones. All right. So, whoa. I got a little crizzle crackle going on, but I think it's passable. So anyway, I've got this set up. Did you want me to talk about that right-hand thing?
Talk about the NS, your NS stick a little bit, and then we can get to that.
Well, it's walnut, I believe. And I'd like to play comfortable jazz tunes. And it's a graphite neck. And I think that's all there is to the NS. I mean,
Yeah, I guess so. What else is
no,
there?
you know what I mean? It's because of the pickups. Oh, and then I don't have MIDI on this. I think it would be interesting, but I'm not sure how that split would work. You know, if I would enjoy having the MIDI on like the low E, or I forget how the MIDI thing works on the NS.
I think it's the top six
four
strings. Top six.
Oh, is it?
Russell might
Right.
be able to chime in.
Yeah, it's the top strings, but the thing that gets a little bit weird is your normal split is 4 and 4, but then your MIDI
Yeah.
overlaps those two. So if you
Oh,
gotta
okay.
turn those strings off or work around it.
Yeah, I would turn them off. Yeah, so just top 4 MIDI would be pretty cool. Yeah.
There you go.
So,
But go ahead.
no, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that, like, the jazz chords, my main trip is to make sure that they're comfortable, and, like, anytime you do normal guitar chords, they're, like, just, I don't know, for me, they're just not comfortable. So, like, I think these are all bar chords when I'm just doing that. I think they're all just, like, bar chords, but, like, to me, I still think if you throw it in there, it will be wicked. Okay, and then the right-hand thing, so, like... so like this is the in fourth, so but then I move that same shape up. Now it's like I think diminished maybe, but not with that root note. And then I'll move it up one more time. Oh, now I get another one. Bad one, good one. I think I found that it is minor. I think that I have found it is true. Okay. So, like, basically, I enjoy that you can use the same shapes and stuff. And then, yeah, basically to just the chording thing. Because, like, I haven't found out a way to do the tried and true jazz thing in all fours. I know there's a way, but I don't think it's, like, ergonomically comfortable on a bass style or, you know.
Right.
But I'm actually, you know what? I'm sure you could, and they'd probably be, like, more dissonant, so that's amazing.
That's really interesting. I'm just like, it's just like.
Yeah, I would have never thought that I would have stuck with the guitar tuning either. I really didn't, and it actually proved a lot of inspiration. And I hate to say that I do use the guitar interval, but I love it.
So
And open strings too. I use open strings all the time.
So dampener, no dampener, or you?
Yeah, I just don't, because like there's so many cool open chords too, you know. And it's like, I think maybe if you're a guitarist, you'd be like, oh, you're just using open chords. I don't like that guy. But it's like if you're playing on like 8-string bass and you're using open chords, you can get away with it. Sounds cool. You know.
That's very true. Yes.
Trying to think what's. Yeah, I always get. See, I used to know all like the classic open chords, but then I just dropped them and used weird ones.
So your guitar interval tuning, you do have it's the third and then the major third and then the fourth, right? It's not like it's the major third and then it's something weird after that, right? Just...
Right, like right now. There's the chord we have.
Okay, all right.
But see, I don't want to play like that. So then you just figure out, oh, let's maybe move one note. That one note, I'm good. Or maybe one more. That one's bad, but yeah. But the minor, just the bar, using that like, just throwing the bar in there real quick. Bam.
Cool stuff. Do you guys? Should we open it up to questions now?
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Open it up, and I'm gonna play a little slap bass while you're talking.
Well, yeah, no. Why don't you play us a little bit on the NS? Because I remember like reading on the forums, and you're like it'd be nice to hear you play, and if there's stuff that you want to share,
Yeah.
like go for it. Like let us, talk through some.
Well, I've been working on slapping. Let me just try something here. Hold on. So I'm trying to do some slapping, but I'm using open strings. You might be familiar with that. Like that, or I do. And that's really easy. So that's just. Hold on. See, and if you guys were like bass players, like you might know a lot of it, because like open tap. Hold on. What's the thing? It's like open tap, down, thumb down, thumb.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm totally still working on that one, but then if you just throw the open one, you can get some pretty wicked stuff.
You're making me want an NS stick pretty bad right now.
Dude, I know, and it's so weird because when I was as a 10 stringer forever, I was like, I didn't play bass forever. Then, I never would have thought. But yeah, man, and it's like the neck is beveled. It's comfy. The
I'm having
action is
that.
so low, man. It's so much lower than your bass.
I'm having that real hard time not just selling all the basses and just buying an NS, but hoping it would replace it. But it's.
Would you play 6 string or do you just play? I mean, what do you play?
Well, see, I've always been a 4-string guy, so I think the 4 and the 4 would be a good.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah.
But actually, about the NS, one other thing. I think the new ones have rails, don't they?
Yeah, the new ones
Yeah,
have
I'd be
rails.
really curious to see how that would work with more of like I call it the hybrid approach, where you're doing like finger style or Jocko style or like slapping, strumming, all that. I'm just curious as how the rails would work with that. I'm sure it'll work great. But I can't, it's like when you have a stick, you can't imagine it getting better. So I'm just like, you make the NS better. I don't know if I believe you, man.
The only two I got to play were Dean Kobayashi's, which is one of the prototypes, which still has the frets, and Don Schiff's Hat Fretless, which was the most amazing fretless instrument I've ever played.
Really?
But they both had I think that one had the frets too, and I only got to play them for like 30 seconds a piece, but it was something else. It was nuts.
Did they have rods? Did they have rods, or did they actually have?
They're just guitar frets, I believe.
Yeah. I think there's probably something special there is for sure like a special crowning and thing that Emmett does, but yeah, they're more traditional bass guitar things, I believe.
Okay.
And I was just thinking if the rails would be like weird for slapping, maybe, because I mean, like normally people aren't thinking about slapping or that, but I don't know. I'm sure it'd probably be amazing. So. All right, next question, please.
I was gonna say with the rails and stuff, I don't think they're really necessarily that different. I have rods on my stick, and the rails, to me, the only thing that I felt that I didn't care for was sliding.
Yeah.
It just wasn't as smooth. But other than that, any other techniques seem to work just as well as any other from my point of view.
You're talking on the 10 string of the NS?
I'm talking about rails on the NS.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting to know. Okay. Because actually, even on sticks, it's like I'll play a stick when I worked there that was like from the early Ironwood, like from the 70s, and I'm like, dude, this thing is still amazing, badass, and just sit there, this is the best shit ever. I mean, and then he still makes improvements and they get better and better, but I'm like, from day one, it was ace.
May I jump in?
Oh yeah.
All right.
I don't know why I'm answering that, but yeah.
Hey, you're the guest. You rule. But all right. So before I forget, I will be glad to discuss figuring out your computer audio with you and running live into Google Plus and how that could work. But for the purposes of the show, I'd like to know, how did you get so invested in MIDI and all this post-processing? Like, nobody starts there making music. How did you get so deep?
Yeah. That was it started with the that pretentious IDM term. So then I heard Square Pusher, Autechre, Venetian Snares, all like the classics, Aphex Twin, and basically that was when I was like 19 or something, and then I got like that's when LSL got into King Crimson, and then so it was like King Crimson and Insane Electronic Music, and I was like, what is going on? And I just knew I had to get into it, you know. And so now my goal in life is to like integrate the fun of like real playing and stuff with all the madness. But I mean, once you hear like some like seriously good electronic music, like I love disco party music too, and I make it, but I'm kind of talking about a different genre where it's like the atmosphere is so unique and the beat programming is so unique. So it really just sucked me in. A lot of people don't like that shit though. You know, my mom hates it. She's like, "What are you playing?" You know, but sometimes it's a good sign. You know, like the less people that like your music, the better. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of that's my philosophy. Because like if I'm like the Lord of the universe, then like nobody else should like my music at all. Just joking around. No, okay. So, what was the question?
There's electronic music.
Forgot it
It's
already.
a good point. It's a good point because there's this cat Toxin on the Stickist, and he's just got he does a lot of electronic music as well, and so it's kind of fun to see how that will play out. And as the Chapman stick is to kind of what the guitar is like. I mean, this, not in a literal sense, but like you think of sampling, right? And like and how that affects production, stuff like that. Here's a snare drum. Here's 80 snare drums. Here's 8,000 snare drums from any song you've ever listened to. Or here's a snare, right? Like you could have any one of those. So when you get into electronic music, now all of a sudden you have a jillion options, right?
Yeah.
So
and I was gonna say it doesn't hurt if you went to a couple of raves too. Then you know you might have gotten into it that way. But I mean, even if you didn't, it's like. You just gotta feel it. You gotta hear, and maybe you don't feel it because some of it's dissonant, but some of it's totally beautiful. You know.
Right. And so where does the stick fit in all of that? Is it playing bass parts?
It's great.
Parts? Is it MIDI parts? And that's why it's this brave new world, you know. And it's like, well, the stick's gonna fit in there somewhere because it's a very modern instrument, right? And it's actually what I love about the stick is it's a whole different way of making music. It's a bass. It's a guitar. No, it's a stick. You're getting it all wrong. It's not
right.
It can do that if you want, but we're kind of structured to be like, the drummer sits here. Here's the drum riser. The guitarist is right here. There's the guitar amp. The bassist is over here. Here's the bass amp. And it's like, well, I don't need any of that stuff.
Yeah. No, with the NS, I can kind of call it a bass, I think, with the NS. But you're talking 10-string, right? More so.
Well, no, just stick in general. I mean, it has a range of it. But with electronic music, it gives you that option. It kind of gives you that freedom. It's like I'm going to freak out and do stuff on the right hand or the left hand, and there's this sub bass go doom 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 doom. That's doing the bass part, and you don't have to worry about that, right? Like that's covered. Like
yeah, no, it's amazing, and it actually fits in the mixes with electronic music too. Just because like unless you're trying to sound like like Kraftwerk or something, it's like you can mold it to how you want to do it. You know, as long as you don't have like something you're trying to emulate, maybe. Yeah. But you should check out Venetian Snares, guys. It's insane. Check out his old albums.
Yeah. Are there any other? Were there other? You know, when you were like out of curiosity, like you know, Andy asked this question kind of early on. It's always kind of one of my favorite questions too. You know, like was there a band that you heard, like a band? Like
Autechre, and I think people say pronounce it differently, and we can have a battle about that. But I think it's Autechre. Some people say Autechre.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're from England or something, but it's spelled like A-U-C. I don't know how it's spelled, but somebody does. And then like if you check that out, the beat programming is like so amazing. That in Venetian Snares, like you'll just die. You'll be like, how is this like? I didn't even know what time signature this shit is in. Is it like 7/14? I have no idea. It's like you try to bob your head and you can't, or I can't. I love that shit.
Yeah.
And it gets annoying and frustrating because I can't figure it out though. Because I'm like, oh, I want to like do a slap line over this, but the beat's so goddamn weird, I can't. So one day though.
Steven, you've heard of this band, right? You've heard of this band?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. They're incredible. They have an album called Trirepetite, tape that's just one of the most bizarre. It's like it's borderline noise, but it's really really musical at the same way.
Yeah.
It's yeah, very much so.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff inspires me just to like play music. Like even if I don't hear any kind of stick or bass or whatever, it's like just getting inspired by the emotion and feeling of the music.
Well, are you a big fan of like Ozric Tentacles at all?
Oh my God! I started a religion around Ozric Tentacles, the Ozricians, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my I can't believe you just said that. Nobody else knows how unbelievable they are.
No, I know.
Best band of all time, almost. Like seriously, like the new. Have you heard their newer stuff too? Like Paper Monkeys.
Their newer stuff is good, but they use
like
a lot
old
of
stuff?
programmed percussion.
Right,
No, I
right.
like all of it. You know, honestly, you can really interchange. You can take any of their albums, and you're pretty much good to go. They're really all pretty
exactly.
similar.
They're all instrumental too. You never have to.
But
yeah,
they're all
best
great.
synth player too. I know. Oh my God, Ozric Tentacles. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hey, everybody needs to check them out.
I had a question along those lines. When you write that technical stuff, what's your approach? Because when I've listened to some of that stuff, I'm like, how does anybody come up with this? Because I dig it, but it's not like I hear it. I would hear music, and I usually hear music and write it. So how do you?
See, I wish I could do that, but I can't. It's like I kind of like. You mean like playing technically on like an NS video or something?
No. I'm talking about the rave dance tech pop stuff. Where does that come from?
It's basically inspiration from like the sound tools that you have and stuff. And then like not using presets all the time, like just morphing it yourself, and then it turns into something. It's pretty organic actually.
So it kind of reveals itself to you as you develop it, or it develops you.
Yeah, something like that. And then like I mean, it's like if you're gonna have like a 4/4 like disco beat or whatever, and you have an idea like, okay, I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna make it like sound like evil, or I'm gonna like then it's like you know what you're doing and you can go for that. But if you're gonna do something more abstract, it's just kind of like the sounds will take you where you want to go, or not where you want to go, where it takes you.
Yeah.
So like it's good to have a lot of like it sucks that it's like soft synths only these days and not like really cheap analog gear, but I mean that's what we got, so just get a bunch of free soft synths. And are you talking more like synthesis, audio processing?
Just all that stuff. I mean, in general, from hearing you talk, it seems like you get into a sound and then develop it. You're not sitting there and saying, oh, technically this should be this, or musically this should be this. It sounds like you're really being driven by what sounds good to you and developing it from there. Like when you were doing the experiment with the fingering. Move this finger, not so good. Move this finger, oh, that's pretty good. Would you sum that up as the way that you approach writing?
Yeah, pretty much. Unless it's like, so let's say I was doing like an octave, something that might sound silly, then I might try to make it not sound silly. You know what I mean? Or like something like that, so. But yeah, see, when people say they get inspired, I don't have that in my brain where like I hear like a like I don't know, like I have to just like force myself to sit down with the instrument and then like mess around basically, but using like scales and chords too. I really wish I could get that divine inspiration though.
Well, in the end, what you come out with is what really counts. So however you do it, right? Whatever.
Yeah, people have said that if you can sing it, it's better. It's like more true emotionally, but I couldn't sing anything I've ever played, so.
Hard work makes you love it more.
That's an interesting approach, though. So you kind of you just kind of mount the technology and just like slap it on the plate and just like let's ride. It's like let's see what happens. Let's see where it takes me and where I take it.
Yeah, and then you deal with just crazy frustration, but once you get it, you're just like, what? Like, when I found out about, like, the beat repeat thing in Ableton, that I could, like, post-process that, didn't even believe that it was humanly possible. It's like a hologram. Is it real?
Well, this is, so what we'll do is we'll, in between you and me and Rob and Andy, everyone on this call, we'll do another call with just Ableton and allow you to kind of how you process the stick in real time. I think that would be very valuable to see, just because it's we all like to play, but when this gives you another opportunity to kind of play with the music and kind of step.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to do that too. And if anybody knows how I can do like a Brady Bunch screenshot where I can like show my Ableton thing while I'm talking, that would be amazing.
We can do a screen share. Actually, if you wanted to, do you have Ableton up right now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so grab your mouse and move over to the left side, and you see there's a green arrow or a white arrow on a green background. You see that when you mouse over to the left side there?
Under the word tap.
Under the word chat.
Oh,
so there's little icons that'll pop up there.
Oh, yeah. So what do you want me to click now?
So you can click if you want to show us your screen, right? If you want to share your screen, you can do that. If you want to show us some stuff in Ableton. But I think that might be a whole nother show.
Oh.
So now we're seeing your screen.
Oh.
I wonder if you'll hear it.
No, we won't hear it. Unless you hold your headphones up to the mic.
You don't hear that?
Hold your headphones up to the mic.
God damn. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh, this is so frustrating. Okay.
Maybe not.
Okay, so.
Oh. Hold up.
All right. So you didn't hear the music correctly, but you saw my screen at least pressing play or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So we can see the screen. So I mean.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah. So we'll come back to this at another time, and you can select stop screen sharing at some point at the top there. So we'll like I said, like when you.
Nice. That is amazing.
That to make that happen.
Cheers to technology. Nice.
Yeah. Hey, so yeah, what we'll do is we'll end with the fancy hats and all that stuff because I don't think you've seen that. So
yeah, what you talking about, Willis?
If somebody wants to turn on Google Effects, we'll
do you need carnival music or what do you need?
For starters, let me say like we do have to wrap up. So we're coming up on an hour.
Rob wanted to say something real quick. So Rob,
go right ahead, Rob.
Okay. So every now and again, somebody says something that like sets my brain on fire, and I go into like turbo geek mode, and I have to make sure I don't say it and pollute other people's minds. But since you already polluted, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, and maybe this will get you going. But Roland recently released some kind of starter keyboard sampler kind of synth stuff, or rompler kind of synth, and it's the JXDI and the JXAI. And
it's not like that. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think the DX is the smaller one, the DI, and it's like $500 or something. And what it's got is 3 channels of soft synth, and 1 channel it's like a dedicated analog circuit, and they can't really mix in with everything.
Nice.
What's
Very
really
nice.
cool is that it's got a mic port, an XLR jack, for a gooseneck mic that's included for vocoding. And that goes through any of the 3 channels, or maybe only one of the 3 channels, the soft synth. But it got me thinking. Maybe I could run my Railboard into that.
Oh, hell
and go through the soft synth instead of vocoding. And I'm thinking, you play a 10-string already. Maybe you want to investigate swapping for a Railboard and do some really weird shit with XLR.
Oh yeah, it's XLR. No, good points though. That's interesting. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know, I have anything to add to that, but yeah. Hell yeah.
Like I say, just in case somebody else starts to geek out with it, why not, you know?
Yeah, I'm all about that. Oh, okay, so we need the carnival music for this part? If I had a better looper, it wouldn't do that. Is this how we go out now, you guys? Or am I crazy? I don't know what's going on.
We're just having some fun. So, here, put on a hat. So do me a favor, grab your mouse.
I don't do that. I don't do that. What you don't do that. I don't. I'm just kidding.
Okay, no, you don't have to wear a funny hat if you don't want.
And now I tried to click a hat, but I don't know where it went. Whoa! All right. Hold on. I clicked a Christmas tree. Is there a Christmas tree?
I had to take off my hat. Like
What the hell? I don't know. I'm in black and white too, and I don't know why. So
nobody.
I
knows
really
why.
don't know why. Yeah.
It's the interference from your home planet.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. Maybe.
All right.
I don't
All
know.
right.
So I want to make sure that Andy, Andy.
Yes?
Let's make sure everyone's got their question answered.
Any other questions, guys? We got a few more minutes here. Anything else?
Yeah, I was just gonna. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say because next time we'll do like all like techie stuff if you want, and then I'll have my whole rig and I got all these like charts. And now that I know we can screen share, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
We'll get the audio worked out. I'd love to do something on MIDI. I'd love to have you lead a session on MIDI, and I'm sure that Rob has got more that on that kind of technical side that he'd want to see. I'm sure you guys can work something out. What comes next? But I suppose what I want to do is I want to kind of wrap it up for today.
Actually, Ben, before we wrap it up, you and I need to stay in contact. We should get some sort of like Twin Cities stick get-together going or
Wait a
something.
minute. You don't exist in the Twin Cities.
No, I'm in Fargo, but so not far
Oh,
away.
dude, my cousin's in Fargo. Alicia,
Oh.
a yoga teacher. She's married though. Sorry. Okay. No, for sure, dude. I'm down. Email me, give me any. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay,
Cool. You know my email. Is it legal to give out, or should I not do that and people will come after me?
We'll do it off the air. We'll do it off the
All
air.
right.
Yeah. So and then you also want to keep Debro in the loop there because he does. I think he did something out in Pittsburgh. I mean,
That's like not even close to me.
Goski.
no. Okay. And then like Chicago, right? We got to represent Chicago, right, Russell? So okay. So Andy, like you wanna. I want to kind of give the last little bit here, but is there anything else you wanted to add before we check out?
I think we're good. Go ahead.
The time has went fast. It has been fun. Thank you for joining Darth Vader. Until next time, have a great day. No, it's been fun though, you guys. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it. It's been awesome.
Oh, we've loved having you.
And I'll have more scripted material next time for that if you'd like. And I'll play more. I feel like I didn't play at all, so I'll play way more. Damn.
Well, yeah, we're still playing, but I want to do a kind of a quick countdown now. First, I want to thank Steve, Greg, Rob, Russell, Andy, everyone. Thanks for being here, and especially to you, Ben. This was really cool, man. Like I've been waiting for this for a long time, and I know, like everyone here kind of has said and agreed, there needs to be another session that's more focused on less about you, right? More about what you do, which is I know what you really wanted to do and what you ask for in Free Hands Fridays is like we all want to get to know people, but we also want to learn how to use this technology, learn how to use this instrument, and just kind of evolve.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, so we will do this again. I suppose what I want to do is just before we go, one kind of quick kind of Free Hands Friday announcement. Next week will be we'll air this episode, but then what we're going to do is on Friday, April 17th, there's going to be a big stick night out in Canoga Park, and so Emmett will be there, and Bob will be there, and Don will be there, and Kevin will be there, and everyone's going to freak out. And that's going to be the 1-year anniversary of Free Hands Friday, and I spoke with Bob Culbertson. And so Bob Culbertson will be our guest for the 1-year anniversary, and then ideally we'll do like a double session, and we'll do a live simulcast from Canoga Park. So everyone here that's on the call, you're the first to know. And so I just confirmed this last night. I haven't even told Rob this yet. So like,
Top
Bob,
secret.
yes.
Got it.
So it's going to be pretty sweet. Wow. Okay.
All
So
right, anything else from me? Thanks. Just saying thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks again, man. Thanks again, and
All right.
we'll look for more cool stuff.
Cool. Catch you guys later.
Okay. Happy Free Hands Friday, everyone.
Yeah.